I know you guys remember Ginny and Georgia, so I wanted to just do a little look back in my little throwback series here on the conversation that we were having as a society before we decided that we weren't woke anymore about just the representation of Black women or Black people, but specifically Black women in media and television. And the show that I used was Ginny and Georgia, and I looked into the biracial aspect of that show. Or the representation and how they portrayed Black characters and like the different realities of Blackness. And yeah, let's take a look back at Ginny and George. This was like 3 years ago.
You're Hallie Bailey. Oh, that's so good. Thanks. Who are you? I'm Britney Spears. So that's what you picked? Noted. I mean, it wasn't my idea. It's a nice costume. Thank you. Excuse me.
Hi guys. So today I'm going to be talking about Black women and how they are portrayed in Hollywood and how they are presented in characters that Hollywood puts out. And as usual, I saw this topic on social media and I decided to break it down. And I started with that clip of Ginny and Georgia because, to be fair, it is about a biracial girl. Like, they don't deny that she's biracial, but I think that the shows seem to want props for telling Black stories or representing Black issues through these biracial actors and actresses. In particular, actresses, because this was a discussion about Black women and are they being erased when the directors choose mixed women or women, ambiguous looking Black women to portray and tell these stories. Is that erasure? And so while Georgia and Ginny, she's biracial and they don't pretend that she's Black, they seem to also want to feel as though they've done some kind of, they want the points for telling a Black story. And I think it expands to my larger point that I don't really believe that Hollywood actually wants to tell these stories or tackle the tough issues using fully Black people, or even tackle them as truly as tough as they are. Let's watch this clip.
Guys, this is Ginny. Hi. This is Wes, Stacy, Jackie.
Risha, you dance and stuff, so you can do a split, right? Can you do one for a TikTok I'm trying to make?
No.
Come on, do it. It'll be fun.
Don't encourage it.
It'll be really fun.
No.
Is anyone else freaking out right now?
Wes, you freak about everything.
Okay, look, you can't be one to talk, okay? Because you're brilliant, all right? Every activity on the face of the planet, and I really like you right now. Because I'm drowning in college applications. I got BC, Howard, Morehouse, Syracuse, American, Michigan.
Michigan?
What's wrong with Michigan?
What? You do not understand. You can go anywhere in the world for college, and you're picking cold as shit Michigan. I just applied to University of Hawaii.
Oh, why? Please.
Nope. I have a philosophy. You pick where you want a vacation, and you just live there. Don't look at me like that. Okay, I'm brilliant. You're dumb.
Okay, Stacy.
And that's it. That's it. Throughout the rest of all the episodes of that show, you will never see them again. Those Black people, those characters that you just saw. And like I said, it's fine, but they seem to want to feel like they've done the work. They want the credit for saying we told a Black story and we represented Black people. I do appreciate that the Black characters that they did show, they did their best to make them look ambitious and intelligent. So that is a point that they get, But if you watch the show, at least to me, it felt like they were so Ginny is Black or biracial, and they wanted to say they wanted to figure out how do we make it relevant, because I feel like they know they seem to also be on Twitter and they seem to also be following what people are saying, and they know that this might be a problem because people might feel like they're not addressing the issues as accurately as they could. So they try to work in a Black storyline, and then they get back to the actual story that they want to tell. And I think you see that a lot also when they do the period dramas, such as as Bridgerton. It's set back in the 1800s, and it's white people, it's black people, and they're like in England or something, and everybody's mingling together. There's no racism, and so there was a YouTuber pointed this out. Her name is Khadija, and I agree with her. She said that it's like they want us to believe that, okay, we're supposed to pretend that racism didn't happen in that time, fine, but then they actually address it. Then they actually bring it up. They use one dark-skinned lady to address it, and then they like never touch it again.
We were two separate societies, divided by color, until a king fell in love with one of us.
And then they get back to the storyline that they want to tell. So I think that these directors, the reason that they're doing it and that they're failing at doing it is because they're not actually invested in it. They don't actually want to tell the story. They don't actually want to represent a black issue, but they know that people are going to say something. So they have to do something to make it look like they checked the box. More to my point on how they seem to want full credit for doing the bare minimum when it comes to representation of darker skinned people, of fully black people, is what comes in when they asked the director of In the Heights recently about how they portrayed people, the more Afro-Latin element of where In the Heights is set. You can watch a clip right now. He was asked by an Afro-Cuban fan about the lack of people who looked like her, with her skin tone, and people who she's familiar with from that area.
And Washington Heights is a melting pot of Black and Latinx people. John and Lynn wanted the dancers and the big numbers to feel very truthful to what the community looks like.
Did you not see that in the dancers as well?
Those are roles that historically we've been able to fill, right? We've been able to be the dancers, and we've been able to be in the hair salons and, this and that. But like a lead, that's the breakthrough. We want to see Black people in the Heights. We want to see Afro-Panamanians, Black Cubans, Black Dominicans. That's what we want to see. And that's what, we were yearning for and hoping for.
I hope that at least that encourages more people to tell more stories and get out there and do it right then.
He just said to her, what more do you want? He said, we did it. They're in the back. And of course, biracial people, mixed girls, everybody has their role. They have their story to tell. But what happens when they actually do try to tell it? What happens when they actually set out to make that the storyline? They actually set out to include that intentionally, that black issue, or what that black woman is going through. What people are complaining about is that they don't tend to use fully black women or black actresses as the faces of those issues, and it tends to water down, I guess, how realistic it might have been back then. Because let's check this one clip out here to see how that goes. Now, Zendaya's character is supposed to be dating Zac Efron's character. I don't remember their names or anything. But Zac Efron is, of course, rich, white. His family's wealthy. And they notice that he is engaging with Zendaya's character, they called her the help. And that was a racial undertone there. And people were complaining online as well that, like, why would they use Zendaya? Because she's half white. But even though during that time it would still be a problem because half black, they still would not have accepted her. I think people feel like it's a cop-out to use a biracial girl when it could be so much more effective to tell the story of how hard it was for girls who weren't mixed, who weren't biracial. So it seems as though Hollywood wants to almost pretend that, like, they don't actually want to touch the issue. They want to act like they can just cast whoever they want, especially in these period dramas that are set during times of racism or high racism, but they want to get away with not actually touching the racial aspect. Another actually interesting show is called Hollywood, and they used, that whole show is about what if we didn't actually have racism. And the actress that they used for that was a girl who's also mixed, who's also, or I don't think she's mixed, but she has like more mixed features and more, I guess, marketable features and things like that.
Mrs. Ryman? I'm sorry to bother you. I'm Camille Washington, one of your contract players. I know that Alfred Ziegler is casting a new crime drama, Parole Inc., and there's a role for someone my age in it. I was wondering if I might be considered for it.
No. That's a white role, honey.
Now, why? Why does Hollywood not cast fully black women or dark-skinned women? And I feel like if we know why, like if we think about it, we know why. When the trailer for Them, I think it came out, which was like that horror movie based on like racism, and it all starred dark-skinned actors. People complained. People said, why is it that the only time we see dark-skinned actors is when it's something terrible, like what's in the trailer now? So the points made after that, the feedback was, why can't we have some black witches and some black vampires, and why don't we ever, why is it that we only see dark-skinned people when it's time to talk about traumatic things? And one YouTuber, her name As Told by Kenya, she actually addressed it, and she said, you guys don't watch. Coco Jones, we know Coco Jones. She's a dark-skinned media personality, and she had a movie, Vampires Against the Bronx. Let's have a look at that.
Are you seriously out at night when you know there's a couple of vampires running around? We're gonna need some garlic and some wooden stakes, like right the hell now.
Did people talk about it? Did you hear about it? You know what I mean? I think the thing is, Hollywood doesn't exist for, they exist to make money, and they know what sells. So I think they know that people are actually more willing to complain. When you complain online about whatever it is, that gives it more promotion. And you complaining more, or people tend to complain more about the lack of representation than they actually do watch the actual things when they are there. And Hollywood knows that. They know. So it's just a cycle that continues.
This is, she got 8 million views in 3 days? And then it's growing, like it's still growing. And I think it's all because she's white and on TikTok, and I'm being honest, she's a TikToker girl that's big on TikTok. So they said, oh, well, let's give her a record deal. We gave her 8 million views. 8 million views in 3 days? Can we give this kind of success to like Victoria Monet? Can we give this success to like Brie Runway?
He's never reacted to Brie Runway. He's never reacted to a solo Victoria Monet. So maybe he also knows that people, that if you want them to do it, you have to show them that you support it. And I think a lot of times people don't support it. People complain a lot and to act like but then they turn around and they're actually not invested in these things. So those are just my rough thoughts. I'm still getting used to sharing them and putting them together. But I don't know, do you think I'm right? Do you think Hollywood feels kind of like they're forced to do it, but they don't really want to, but they know we're going to complain, so that's why they do these like half-hearted representations and portrayals? Let me know what you think. Maybe I missed something. I don't know. All right, thanks for watching. Also, if this is your first time on my channel, I'm actually an artist. I actually make music, and it would be great if you could check it out on the rest of my videos. And also like and subscribe. Tell me what you think, what your opinion is on this matter, or just anything else you want to say. Thank you.